Scripture to consider before the news. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. As we proceed to the final prophetic 70th week spoken of by Daniel the prophet for Israel, we will start to see God's holy city, Jerusalem, become a cup of trembling to first the region but then the world. Now unto the news. Israel, Hamas ceasefire but Jerusalem clashes break out. A truce between Israel and Hamas took hold on Friday after the worst violence in years, but brief clashes broke out around Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem where similar scenes had touched off the Gaza conflict. Israel's bombardment of Gaza and militant rocket attacks on Israeli towns ceased after 11 days under an agreement mediated by Egypt, which is negotiating with both sides on ways to maintain stability. The Gaza violence was set off in part by Israeli police raids of East Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa Mosque compound and clashes with Palestinians during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Thousands had gathered there for Friday prayers, with many staying on to demonstrate in support of Gaza. Israeli police fired stun grenades towards Palestinians, who threw rocks and petrol bombs at officers, a Reuters witness said, and Palestinian medics said some 20 Palestinians were wounded. The confrontations died down within about an hour, with Israeli police retreating to positions at the compound's gates. Palestinians who had huddled in fear of Israeli shelling poured into Gaza's streets, embracing one another in celebration in front of bombed-out buildings. Mosque loudspeakers faded, the victory of the resistance. Cars drove around flying Palestinian flags and honking horns. Egypt said it would send 2 delegations to monitor the truce as the warring parties said they were ready to retaliate for any violations. Civilians on both sides of the front line were skeptical. The violence erupted on May 10, triggered by Palestinians' anger at what they saw as Israeli curbs on their rights in Jerusalem, including during police confrontations with protesters at Al-Aqsa Mosque during the Ramadan fasting month. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the operation had hit the ability of Hamas, the Islamist group which runs Gaza, to launch missiles at Israel. Netanyahu said the Israeli military had attacked and destroyed Hamas's extensive tunnel network in Gaza, its rocket factories, weapons laboratories and storage facilities, and killed more than 200 militants, including 25 senior figures. Hamas, however, cast the fighting as successful resistance to a militarily and economically stronger foe. Amid growing global alarm, U.S. President Joe Biden had urged Netanyahu to seek de-escalation, while Egypt, Qatar and the United Nations sought to mediate. The truce appeared to be part of a 2-stage deal, with Cairo sending security delegations to Tel Aviv and the Palestinian territories to agree on measures to maintain stability. After days of Israeli airstrikes, Gaza officials said 16,800 homes were damaged and residents were getting 3 or 4 hours of power compared with 12 hours before the fighting. Biden said on Thursday aid would be sent quickly to Gaza. It would be coordinated with the Palestinian Authority, run by Hamas rival, President Mahmoud Abbas, backed by the West and based in the Israeli-occupied West Bank, in a manner that does not permit Hamas to simply restock its military arsenal. Hamas is deemed a terrorist group in the West and by Israel, which it refuses to recognize. In other news, OIC calls for 2-state solution despite ceasefire announcement. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, said on Friday that despite the cessation of Israeli hostilities and the ceasefire in Gaza, achieving lasting peace must be based on a 2-state solution, dialogue and the relevant UN resolutions. Scripture to consider. I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land. God's land of Israel will be parted by what looks to be the 2-state solution, with Palestine, as it is written by the prophet Joel. Back to the news. The establishment of an independent state of Palestine according to 1967 lines and with East Jerusalem as its capital was paramount to achieving just, lasting and comprehensive peace, the OIC said. The OIC's Secretary-General affirmed the organization's rejection and condemnation of continued Israeli occupation of Palestinian land including East Jerusalem and the establishment of an apartheid system in it through building settlements, destroying Palestinian property, building an expansion wall, confiscating land, homes and properties, and forcibly evicting and displacing Palestinians from their homes and land. Dr. Yusuf al-Othaymin also confirmed the OIC's concern about Israeli threats to evacuate hundreds of Palestinian families from their homes in occupied East Jerusalem by force, including families in Sheikh Jarrah and Silwan. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell so you can get notified whenever new Bible prophecy news videos are uploaded. Lastly, the Fed this summer will take another step in developing a digital currency. Scripture to consider. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. The last half of the 70th week coming up will be when the mark of the beast is dispensed on this world by the final pope, which will be the false prophet that causes all to receive a mark to buy or sell. What we are living is the mental programming of accepting digital currency, because the mark of the beast will be in the right hand or forehead like a vaccination, but without you cannot buy or sell, which includes some type of digital currency. Satan's Vatican Jesuit-controlled Federal Reserve has it all planned out already and will bring that 666 order about from their chaos. Order out of chaos. Back to the news. The Federal Reserve is moving forward in its efforts to develop its own digital currency, announcing Thursday it will release a research paper this summer that explores the move further. Though the central bank did not set any specific plans on the currency, Jesuit-educated and controlled Chairman Jerome Powell cited the progress of payments technology and said the Fed has been carefully monitoring and adapting to those innovations. Fed officials have emphasized the importance of getting the issuance of a central bank digital currency right rather than participating in a race with its global peers. However, the moves of multiple countries, most prominently China, in the central bank digital currency (CBDC) space has intensified talk about how aggressively the Fed should move. China's progress has stirred worries that it could undermine the dollar's position as the global reserve currency. The Fed is working in conjunction with a variety of groups on the project, including the Bank for International Settlements. The Boston Fed has taken the lead on the project. Scripture to consider. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Can you prove your name is in the book of life? BeingJustified.com can help you while in the land of the living.